So it is 1 year to my wedding day today, and I have had a lot of questions come up about how I'm going to be preparing for such a big, special day. I think because I'm a dietitian, there is always a lot of intrigue about whether or not I would start something like a big diet or a new exercise plan, especially because I work a lot in the weight loss space. So I wanted to come on, do something different and share my thoughts on whether or not you should lose weight for your wedding day. And I'm going to give 10 bits of advice for future brides, and at the end I'm also going to reveal exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'll put timestamps for everything below if I'm rambling too much and you want to skip on. But if you're new here, I'm Maria and I'm a registered dietitian. Welcome to the channel. So my thoughts, your wedding is a big day, and many people will say that it is one of the best and the happiest days of your life. And understandably so, you're going to want to feel your absolute best on your wedding day. If you're like me, it's a day that you always dreamed of as a little girl. And I think no matter how impressive the venue is, how great the weather is, how talented your photographer is, ultimately, a lot of the enjoyment of the day will depend on how calm you feel, how content you feel, and how at ease you feel in your own skin. But there can be a lot of pressure in the lead up, and I'm really only beginning to realize half of this now. It's pressure to have everything organized, but I think as well, a lot of brides can put themselves under a lot of pressure to look a certain way. And it's not just in terms of your weight, it's in terms of how your hair is looking, how your skin is looking. And you're probably paying a pretty penny for photographers, and you're hoping to get photos that really you do want to be looking at for the rest of your life. And making positive changes now will pay dividends in how relaxed and upbeat you feel on the day itself, on your honeymoon, and into your new married life. Now, whether or not you should lose weight for your wedding or lose weight in general has become quite a controversial topic in recent years. And really at the end of the day, it's highly individual. But I find the narrative online has gone very much that you are either anti-diet, where diets don't work, you should never go on a diet, you should love your body, accept yourself for who you are, and eat intuitively. And then you have the complete opposite, which is intense exercise regimens, really strict diets, counting calories, counting macros, these ridiculous 75 hard challenges and 5:30 a.m. morning routines. But the approach that I like to take, and from my experience what has worked for many of my clients as well, is what I like to call the Yin and Yang approach to weight loss. And this is for any self-development in life for that matter. So at its core, the principle of Yin and Yang is all about balance. So Yin is self-compassion. It's about being kind to yourself and accepting yourself for who you are. Then Yang is where your growth comes in. It's about pushing yourself to be that little bit better. It's going out of your comfort zone. It's doing the harder things, getting a greater reward at the end. Ultimately, you will still need some yin to balance all of this out. So you can push yourself to want to be a better version of you, but you also need some self-acceptance and to be doing it from a place of self-compassion. And I think this is a good principle for anything in life. Like, yes, you should work hard to get into college, to get a good job, get a good career, but you also need to relax and enjoy life too. There will always need to be a bit of a balance. And there may be seasons where you have to work really, really hard. But then there's seasons of life where you take it a little bit easier. For example, I always think back to when I was doing my leaving cert, and there was months on end there where it wasn't fun. I was just studying all of the time. But at the end of the day, it was completely worth it because it meant that I got into the college course that I wanted to. So you can't be grinding all of the time, but equally you can't be taking the easy path all of the time either. So sometimes it's good to be kind to yourself, but it's also good to have a little bit of self-discipline too. Now, there is always a conversation that needs to be had because for some people, it's not healthy for them to lose weight. You don't need to change your body for your wedding. And for some people, they can often believe that getting to a certain weight will make them happier and that this will solve all of their problems. But unfortunately, this is not the case. And there can be deeper issues going on here. But if somebody wants to improve their health, lose some weight, and they believe that this will help with their quality of life and their confidence, then of course I will support them. So as a bride-to-be, there is 10 bits of advice that I want to also give to other future brides-to-be. But before I get into them, I'm going to pause here and ask that if you're enjoying the video so far, I would really appreciate it if you hit the red subscribe button below. And if you're looking for healthy, high-protein recipes, or you would just like to follow along on my wedding journey, make sure to follow me over on Instagram. So the first one is to set realistic expectations of what you can achieve between now and your wedding day. Don't put yourself under excessive pressure trying to lose weight in an unrealistic time frame. It will lead to disappointment and unnecessary stress. And it's also good to have larger discussions about weight loss. You are much more than just a number on a scale. And many people fall into a trap where they believe they will be happy if they reach a certain weight. But that's not always the case, and you don't want your whole wedding built up to be about transforming your body. It's a really special time with so much more meaning than that. Now, my next bit of advice is that you need to have a long-term plan. If you have weight to lose and you want to lose weight for your wedding, the goal should also be making sure that you can keep that weight off long-term. It's not about losing that weight and then going on honeymoon and putting it all back on. And if you do rebound, it's not good for your overall metabolic health. And you're going to be making all future attempts at weight loss even harder. Plus, if you plan to push yourself too hard with a really restrictive diet and exercise plan, this can really offset your body, and some women can lose their period by doing this. And if your next goal after your wedding is to start having a family, you're not making life any easier for yourself by pushing your body too far beyond its limits. Now, my next bit of advice is to give yourself loads of time if you can, ideally a year, but you do not want to be starting any crazy diets 12 weeks before your wedding. Plus, the lead up to the big day is meant to be fun and exciting. You might have menu tastings or a hen party, and these are all moments that you want to be able to enjoy and not be restricting yourself. And if you start really, really early, you can make tiny changes that will accumulate and compound over time, rather than feeling like you need to go to drastic measures a few weeks before the wedding. Now, the next thing I would say is do not starve yourself or skip meals. In order to maintain mood, energy, and concentration, you need to include 3 meals daily at a minimum, just to meet your basic needs. And also, if you restrict yourself, you are much more likely to binge eat or overeat later, and this can result in a very dangerous binge restrict cycle. You can really damage your relationship to food and to your body, and this is a slippery slope to get out of. Now, you also want to make small changes and focus on behavioral goals, not just numbers on a scale or a clothing size. And for long-term weight management, you want to develop a set of rock solid healthy habits. And there are 2 habits that can be started right now with little or no preparation. And this is sleep and water. We require approximately 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night in order to function to our full capacity, both physically and mentally. And at least 2 liters of water is required as well to make sure you're hydrated and that your skin is looking at its best. This might seem like a lot if you don't drink very much as it is, but try just sipping small amounts throughout the day and always having a water bottle or a drink at your side. The next thing I would really strongly say is to stay far away from any fads, diet pills and meal replacement shakes. These can all lead to bad skin, bad hair, bad nails, constipation, dizziness, and even diarrhea. Not things you want to be dealing with coming up to your wedding. Now, you also want to prioritize your mental health at this time. As exciting as this time is, it can be emotional too. It's a big life change. And there's a lot happening. And many people report feeling anxious or stressed in the lead up. But how you eat can impact your mental health. And your mental health can impact how you eat too. It's a bit of a chicken or an egg situation. But some people turn to food for comfort and overeat when they're stressed. And some people stop eating altogether if they get too anxious. So stress management, yoga, mindfulness, whatever it is for you, make sure you schedule some in weekly. You want to proactively keep on top of your stress before it all becomes overwhelming and it becomes too much. Now, my next point is that it's diet and exercise. It's not one without the other. Now, diet can often be more important for helping you at the initial weight loss phase, but exercise is really important as a healthy habit and to help you then maintain the weight loss in the future. Exercise will energize you, lift your mood, and help you hold onto your muscle tissue. And this is all really important for your metabolism longer term. If you're new to exercise or you need some accountability, maybe start group classes and ask your bridesmaids to come along with you for support. Or encourage your fiance to join the gym with you too. This is something me and my fiance love to do together, and it's a great way for us to take a break from wedding planning and spend some time together too when other parts of life are busy. You could even consider signing up for some dance lessons. Now, regarding what type of diet you should go on, there is no one diet better than the other. The best diet for you is the one that is most sustainable for you. It's the one you enjoy the most and you don't even really feel like you're dieting. I wouldn't remove your favorite foods. I would keep them in there and just practice portion control. But one thing I would universally promote is to make sure that you are getting enough protein. And if you're not sure how much that is, you can watch my protein video here. Now, if you have any underlying gut issues, now might be a very good time to address them. If you struggle with really bad bloating, you want to figure out what the root cause is because you really don't want this happening on your wedding day. And working with a dietitian can help you figure out what the culprit is. If you'd like me to do more videos on the in-depth of bloating, let me know in the comments below. So firstly, I don't need to lose weight, but I still want to look and feel my best on my wedding day. I want to feel strong and toned, and I want to have my skin glowing and feel really confident and calm within myself. And I know what my biggest barriers are going to be, and that is going to be time and stress. So I work a full clinical caseload as a dietitian, and I'm also trying to run a YouTube channel, as well as eat healthy, go to the gym, have a social life, and all of those other things. And I'm constantly busy, and I constantly feel like I have something to do and that I'm always a little bit behind. And when this happens, the first things to take a slip are my diet and my exercise. Many people don't think this because I'm a dietitian, but we're not perfect either. And when I feel like I need to have a video edited for next week, or I have clinic notes that I need to get finished, going for a run or going to the gym is the first thing that gets removed from my daily priority list. So the biggest thing that I'm going to work on, which isn't specifically diet related, but I know will have the biggest impact, is my time management. So my number one goal for myself is to really focus on my time management and my organization. I'm going to plan out my work schedule. I'm going to try and hire a video editor and someone to help with some of the tasks that I don't necessarily need to be doing. And this will help me buy back my time so I will have more time to go to the gym or go for a run. Also, it may seem obvious, but in terms of the wedding itself, I'm going to try not to have anything too last minute. I want to feel really organized. That way I don't get stressed closer to the day and can enjoy the whole experience. Now, the next thing that I'm going to really try to focus on is eating mindfully. When I'm busy, I often eat at my desk. Eat while I'm working, eat while I'm watching a YouTube video. And this is just not a healthy habit. And it can often leave you feeling quite bloated too, because you tend to swallow more air when you eat quickly and not mindfully. You also tend to end up overeating because you're not giving your body enough time to recognize your fullness cues. So this can also really help with portion control. And the last thing I want to do is really get back into being more consistent in the gym. I actually really do love going to the gym. I just have been finding it hard to go lately because I've had so many other things that I'm trying to do. But I would love to build more muscle in my legs and maybe run a half marathon in under 2 hours as a goal for myself in the lead up to the wedding. And to do this, I'm going to make myself a proper running plan and training plan. And I'm going to make sure that I'm eating enough protein as well as carbohydrates, fats and everything else, because I want to train to help me get fitter and stronger. It's not just about training to burn calories. So that is my plan. If you would like me to do a more detailed video into how I'm going to be training, how I'm going to be eating, how I'm going to be prepping and planning my meals, as well as just prepping for the day in terms of skincare and beauty treatments. If that will be of interest, let me know in the comments below and I can make sure to plan some future videos around that. I could maybe start a wedding series. But that is all for today. As a thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video, I have a free recipe ebook which I'll leave linked in the description box below. Stay happy and healthy, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching.